And it says we are live. Let's let the party begin. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the Low Budget Livestream. As always, I'm your host, the real Gino Reynolds. If you're in the house, let me know in the chat. Because I don't have a show prepared for today. I wasn't even sure it was going to happen until about an hour ago. So if you guys got questions, comments, want to talk about anything, definitely let me know in the chat. I am going to address some things. Last few weeks have been pretty rough. It's not stuff I can talk about, but it's just some personal stuff that it hasn't really sat right with me, and I at least today I got to have a good laugh, and some might say the last laugh, but I'm feeling a little better now, but things are just kind of weird in many different areas of my life right now. So I wasn't sure what I wanted to do today, but hey, let's do this. Let's have a good time and just take our minds off all the BS that goes on out in the world. And let's just have a good time, because that's what this channel is about, and that's what this live stream is about. I want to address some things. Some of the comments that you guys put out, saying you're nervous to ask questions. You shouldn't be, because we're just here to have a good time. But I have to say this. Bill's in the house, so I have to say this. His comment was "on my axe," and that gave me a good laugh. So I was happy to hear that. I dug that comment. But I'm glad you guys can join me tonight, because sometimes I just need to stop attending my own pity party and just go on, right? Just keep going. And this is one of the things that just helps me keep going. I thought this week might be easier because I'm going to be so busy this week. Starting Sunday, I had 2 movies. Monday, I had something going on. Yesterday, I did the state fair with Brad, and I will address why, that I am working with him again. Because I just told and the only thing is, I'm just saying, I'll just say this. I told myself he's my friend, and if I want to help my friend, I'm going to. So that's it. I want to help my friend, and I'm helping my friend. I'm going to be doing live streams with him on. We're supposed to do Thursday and Friday this week, so it's a busy week. Saturday, I don't know if Rob is here. I know he's doing a stream tonight with someone else. I think it's an Agents of Shield stream from Smirking Gun Reviews. Saturday, I'm going up to work with him. We're going to be filming, I think, at least 6 different videos, if not more. If we think of more stuff, I don't know. I've got 3 for my channel planned. He's at least got 2 or 3 planned for his channel, so we're going to be doing that. So that should be fun. And like I said, he probably won't be joining us tonight, but that's okay, because he's got his own video going on right now. So anyway, I thought a busy week would help. And yesterday I wasn't feeling real good about anything. So I was not having a good day. I had to do one of those, fake it till you make it kind of days yesterday. So yeah, but I'm feeling all right now, because I don't know. I'm just decided I'm not. Oh, hey, Rob joined us from Smirking Gun Reviews. Again, I know he's got. I know you have a live stream with someone else. You can go ahead and promote that in the chat if you want. If people want to check that out as well. But I'm just like, I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna do this. Let's just have a good time. If you got questions, comments, put them in the chat. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I'm just a normal dude. So, I'll talk about just about anything within reason. Ask me anything rules. We'll try to keep it, sensible here on the channel, though. But, who knows? Maybe we'll get, we can always get in a serious discussion. It's just sometimes there's things that I don't want to talk about. So, and if I don't want to talk about it, I won't. So anyway, here we go. Daniel's in the house. How you doing, bud? Zepstern's in the house. How you doing, buddy? Says been having a rough time lately. Ask for questions. Is it weird? I've watched Spider-Verse on Netflix 9 times now. You can always hit me up in the chat, buddy, and Twitter. We've been talking a lot. You can always hit me up, and I know I haven't been real great getting back to you lately. It's just life's been weird, but you can always hit me up, man. And is it weird that you watch Spider-Verse 9 times on Netflix? No, I don't think that's enough. It's a fantastic movie. There is nothing wrong with that. Bill says, I don't know if he wants me to sing this, and I don't know what song this is. Little arrows in your clothing, little arrows in your hair. You'll have to share what that is, Bill, because I'm not sure what song that is. Paul says, hear the movie The Hunt is being pulled. Yes. I was looking forward to that movie too, because I like the trailer for it. It'll come out later this year, I'm sure. When it comes to stuff like that, I understand why they pulled it, but I mean, that Ready or Not movie's still coming out, and there's other... I mean, I think maybe with the subject matters why, it's a little closer to political than, say, Ready or Not is and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed because I was looking forward to seeing it, but it'll come out later, so it's fine. Let's see. Daniel says Angry Birds got a 72%. Way overrated if you ask me, but apparently I'm the minority. Bernadette got a 38. I don't know when I'm going to be able to see that. Good Boys got an 82%. Rob and I are going to be reviewing that whenever I go visit him near Chicago on Saturday. So we're going to be doing a dual review of Good Boys. 47 Meters Down 2 got a 64. Seeing that tomorrow night. Blinded by the Light got a 93%. I don't know when I'm going to get to see that either because not a lot of theaters around us have it. I know the local art theater does, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to make it to see it because movie times are weird right now. They cut out a lot of times because of like budget cuts and stuff. So I'm not sure when I'll be able to see everything and when, and we'll figure that out. Let's see. Where was I? The thing jumped on me. Here we go. Bill Casey says Jordan Peele is making a new Candyman film. I'm cool with that. I don't mind some attempts at remakes. I have gotten a lot softer on remakes now. It's like, fine, try it. Just give me something new. Is it going to be the same movie? Is it going to be something new? Is it going to, I don't know. I'll give them a chance. Let's see. Daniel says, yeah, I didn't know when you would be with Brad again until I saw Hobbs and Shaw review, but at least you guys are still friends. Oh yeah, I talked about this before. It was just I don't know. The whole change of channel thing has been coming back up, and I'm in the middle of it, even though I have nothing to do with it, But it's just like, look, Brad's my friend. He's been nothing but good to me. So, and I don't know, like, any of the other people, really, on either side. Brad is the only one I know. So, I take him at his word. He's been nothing but good to me. He's been a friend. That's all I can say. And I want to work with my friend. So, anyway. Let's see. Rob says, "No, I'm here for you. Except I hope to work with Brad someday. Hope talk to him at Wizard World. I'll tell you this, and I can't guarantee anything by it, but the way me and him became friends was I interviewed him. I mean, you can always try that. I can't, like I said, I can't guarantee anything. He's going to be starting a bunch of stuff with." Since he's moving up to Chicago, he's going to be working, I think, out of the Channel Awesome offices and all that. So I'm not sure if he's going to be doing more stuff with them. So, I mean, and I think he's moving in September. I probably won't be working with him much after September. But I mean, I still will if I get a chance because, again, I like working with my friends. Let's see. Bill says Danny Trejo just rescued a baby from a car accident in real life. Yeah, I loved that story. Danny Trejo's the man. I met him. He was a few years ago. He was cool. I really dug him. That does not surprise me that he would do something like that. Yeah, I was excited when I heard that because I'm like, well, yeah, you know. Let's see. Paul says Brightburn coming out next week. Yeah, that's a great movie. I enjoyed the heck out of that movie. It had a few issues, but it was basically what would happen if Superman turned bad. I mean, heck, it even took place in Kansas. I still believe that they shopped at the Warner Brothers first, saying we've got a dark Superman origin story, and Warner Brothers is like, no, we're trying to build him up as a good guy, and so they took it elsewhere. Daniel says 5 movies came out last weekend, and guess what film from that film was my worst movie of the year? I'm not sure which one. You have to let me know. And you got to remember, I see a lot of movies, and I can't remember what all came out last weekend. I know I saw 5. Let's see. Ryan says, "Hey, it's been a while. Hey, buddy, how you doing?" Bill says, "Oh, that was from the Avengers playlist I did." Okay, that's right. It's been a few weeks. Let's see. Ryan says, with Dora out right now, what are some Nick Jr. shows you've seen old and recent? Nickelodeon for me was, I didn't get into a ton of Nicktoons. My son watched Danny Phantom for a while. Nickelodeon for me was like, you can't do that on television. And I used to watch that a ton. I didn't watch a ton of Nick, though. Ren and Stimpy was the big one, though, for me. I love Ren and Stimpy. Let's see. Where was I? Zepsner says, Bill, Danny Trejo is not an actor. Whenever he's in a movie, he's just Danny Trejo. I don't know. He was Boots. He was Boots and Dora. But it was still Danny Trejo. Zepsner says they filmed him rescuing a baby and made him sign a form to use in a movie. Hey, you know, that's just with Danny Trejo. He's one of those actors I will watch in anything. I love that guy. The story behind my interview with him was weird, though, because I think he got upset with me during our interview, even though I think he mistook what I said. It was when Machete 2 came out, and I said, I don't believe this, but a lot of people are saying it's a failure because of what it made at the box office. And he went into a tirade on me about how big budget movies have to make so much and make their money back, while they made a decent amount of money because they had a lower budget and all that. I'm like, look, I meant no disrespect. I'm just telling you what some people are saying. And at the end of the interview, he just kind of walked off. He was nice when I met him, though, before that. Like I said, I think he just heard me wrong. And Mr. Trejo, if you ever see this by any chance, I never meant to insult you. You are the man. Let's see. Where was I? Bill says stunt performers are considering protesting the Oscars because they don't get recognition, and they are right. Stunt performers should definitely get recognition. There should be a best stunt man and stunt woman awards, at least. Like they should have a best stunt or something like that. They're definitely right. I mean, that's just it, though. There's so many parts to a movie that it's hard to award everyone, but the Academy especially. I mean, they've opened it up in recent years, but they usually, if it's in front of the camera, it counts. But that being said, the stuntmen would qualify for that. Let's see, where was I? Ryan says, going back to Nickelodeon, thoughts on Viacom now owning Garfield? Well, as long as it's better than that last Garfield cartoon I saw. That one, it's on Netflix now. My sons were watching it, And it is one of the most spastic cartoons I've ever seen. It's like, God, make it stop. It's still got the same voice actor, I think, that's been doing Garfield for years and all that, but just the whole thing, it's like constant noise, and there's lasagna aliens and all sorts of it is the weirdest cartoon. As long as somebody does something better than that, then I'm all for it. Daniel says, also, did you get the soft pretzel bites and lemonade from your kitchen screen for free? No, I paid for those. But yeah, seeing the kitchen for free was kind of nice. It was nice that a theater manager knew that I was wronged and the film was going to run, and they let me watch it. They were cool about that. Let's see. Daniel says we need Mr. Rogers to deal with the change of channel controversy. When it comes to the change of channel controversy, what I would like to see is, look, I know that the damages that's been done will probably never go away, but I think they need to come to some form of understanding. Will that ever happen? I don't know. I think they need to get together. They need to talk it out and come out with a joint statement. So that way you can at least have a ceasefire. They don't have to be friends anymore. They don't, that's I can't see a lot of that happening anymore, but they need to come to some sort of ceasefire, because it'll only get uglier over time, which is unfortunate. Let's see, where was I? Wow, there we go. Daniel says, have you seen the new trailer for the Addams Family and Playing with Fire? They look like trash. I don't think I've seen Playing with Fire. I saw the new Addams Family trailer, and I'm worried about that one now. I still love the art style, but I'm worried about that movie. I hope I'm wrong. That being said, even if it's not good, at least we still have the first two movies that are really good. So there is that. Bill says Andy Serkis is directing Venom 2. Tom Hardy helped him write the script. I'm all for that. Andy Serkis, especially if he gets to help with the mocapping, with helping develop that and everything, I'm all for it. I'm cool with that pick. I'm hoping they can get a better story than last time. I watched it again with my son, and I had a lot more fun because he was having fun, but it's still not a great movie. Ryan says, joking question. If you were to cast a movie based on a preschool show in the vein of Dora, who would you cast? I don't know. What would I want to see? I don't know. I really don't know. I'll have to think on that one. Because really, there's not. You could do, like, if you did it right. You could do any cartoon, or most cartoons, especially when it involves people. You could do live action versions if you got a good script writer and all that. But that's the problem, is they just want to sell the name, and they don't want to take time to make a good movie, even though I didn't dislike Dora as much as I thought I was going to. Yeah, I don't know. Trying to think of, I think we've talked about this before. I know my son would love to see a Ben 10, and I know that's not a preschool show per se, but it's definitely a younger kid show. We don't need. There's some cartoons and shows from the past we don't need more of. Daniel says, I thought Addams Family might be good because the directors of Sausage Party is a part of it. But on Brad's video 2 days ago, the writers of the film wrote Dr. Dolittle, Tale to the Chief. Yeah, again, I was excited for that one. I really hope I'm wrong. I do. I really do. I love the Addams Family. I grew up with the Addams Family, the original show. And then I love the first two movies, and then the other movies are, Let's see. Paul says Blue's Clues, Rugrats, Cat Dog, Hey Arnold were good Nick shows. Yeah, those were. I mean, I'd seen Blue's Clues, and my sons grew up on a little bit of Blue's Clues, but the rest of them, they were just kind of passed when I was watching Nicktoons. I know a lot of people love those. I watched a little bit of Doug, but that was about it. Daniel says, also the worst movie of the year for me is Dora and the Lost City of Gold. Wow. See, I didn't like Angry Birds. I liked Dora better than I liked Angry Birds. I wouldn't call either of them the worst of the year, and I'd really have to think about it because I don't have the list in front of me. But wow, I don't know. I at least got a few laughs out of Dora. Angry Birds just was. I did not like that movie at all. Let's see. Desiree says, "LO at work. I hug you all." That's two. That's two. Desiree, you're killing me. No, have fun at work. Wish you could be here. We miss you. Let's see. Bill says, "Ooh, it jumped on me. Where was I? There we go. There we go. The whole chat just went. Pff. Let's see. Bill says they need a Garfield cartoon based on the Reddit trend of drawing Garfield as a Lovecraftian. God, I haven't seen that, but I can only imagine. Ryan says, in that CG series, Garfield is actually voiced by the legendary Frank Welker. Oh, okay. I didn't know he was. Lorenzo Music passed away when that show premiered. And I didn't know that. I vaguely remember seeing Frank Welker's name in the credits, but when my kids were watching that show, I start to tune out because, man, that show just gets on my nerves. But my kids like it, and heck, there's some things, as long as they aren't watching, I'm fine with. But trust me, there's worse shows out there, but still, I have to ignore some of them. Daniel says, I always hated Dora growing up, and at the last minute, I thought it might be good since critics are liking it. And it might be Teen Titans Go situation where fans hate the show but love the movie. But I was wrong. It's pure trash. Worse than The Beach Bum, which I never saw, and Miss Bala, which I did. Ooh, I don't know. Miss Bala was pretty bad too. Because I remember reading what the original movie was, and I'm like, why didn't you just do that? Miss Bala was kind of dumb because they were trying to play off like the girl wasn't pretty, and it's like, she's gorgeous. Don't try to fool me into thinking she's not gorgeous this entire movie, because they made her, instead of being a contestant in this beauty pageant. Don't make me explain the whole plot, but she was a makeup artist, and she had to become a contestant, which the original movie, she was already a contestant in this beauty contest, and they're trying to play it off like she's not cute, and it's like she's really cute already, and it's just like, stop insulting my taste in women, I guess. But anyway, yeah, Miss Bala was not a good movie either. I don't know which I would put worse, or in the, ahead of that or Dora, but I don't know. I don't want to watch Miss Bala again to find out. Paul says, what do you think about Bruce Lee's daughter not liking how her dad was portrayed in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Oh boy. Okay, so she was mad that basically Bruce Lee was made to look like a chump, and that he seemed over arrogant and all that. So I understand her being upset because, I mean, that's her dad. But by Quentin Tarantino's accounts, I just read an article a day or two ago where he said in, I think it was Bruce Lee's wife's book, they talked about that he was kind of arrogant on set. The way I see it is, and I know Brad Pitt even said he had a problem beating up Bruce Lee. But the way I see it is, it was Bruce Lee underestimating Brad Pitt's character, because Brad Pitt's character had a past of where I don't remember if they explicitly said it or just implied it. I don't remember, but where he had like a past, a military past, plus there was a whole thing where he might have murdered somebody. So that was that I see that as he was underestimating his opponent, because they were supposed to have a round 3. But even round 2, it looked like they were evenly matched. So I was fine with that part, but I can understand why she was upset. But Tarantino was saying, well, there was cadence for me putting this in there, but he also goes, plus we're talking about fictional characters here technically. And you got to remember, yes, it's Bruce Lee, but it's also Tarantino's world. I mean, this is a world where Hitler didn't kill himself. Hitler was killed by the Inglourious Bastards. This is a world where I'm not. Well, I almost spoiled the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but let's just say that Tarantino takes liberty with history, and so I just saw it as that. I didn't think it was insulting. I just thought it was Bruce Lee underestimating someone he did not know. I will say I love the whole, my hands are registered as lethal weapons. If I kill you, it's man, or I kill you, I go to prison. He goes, that happens to anyone. It's called manslaughter. I thought that was hilarious. Daniel says Playing with Fire is the one where, John Cena's a firefighter and babysits 3. I'm looking forward to that movie. And I know my son who loves John Cena is looking forward to that movie. That's right. I'm curious about that one. It looks like it might be fun. Rob says, I'll message you times that Good Boys plays on Saturday. I have to go, but I wanted to mention the new Rocco's Modern Life on Netflix was awesome. And want more, and excited for the new Invader Zim. Two shows I was not really into, so it's hard for me to go watch them because it's like, well, I don't have any context without going back and watching all the old shows. But I'm hearing they're great though for fans. And then again, some fans are mad with some of the changes they've made. But that's I'm not in that boat because I was never into those shows. But yeah, thank you, Rob, for joining for a little bit. Again, I know he's going to be doing a live stream. I don't know if it's on his channel or another person's channel, but they're going to be talking about, I believe it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let's see. Ryan says, hear me out. A film version of Lazy Town with Chris Hemsworth as Sporticus, Katy Perry as Stephanie, and Bruce Campbell as Robbie Rotten. Lazy Town. What is Lazy Town? That sounds so familiar. Give me a second here. Lazy Town. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Why not? The pictures popped up. I'm like, oh, yeah, that. Who knows? Maybe someday. I'm honestly surprised that Katy Perry especially has not done a movie like that. Like based on an old one of those like boldly colored children's shows. Let's see. Daniel says, I hope there's not a live action Caillou movie. Me too. My son was into that show, but we had to have a talk about that show because of how whiny Caillou is. How he whines and gets his way. And it's like, don't learn from that kid. It's like, if it's okay if you watch the show and learn the little lessons here and there, but don't learn that you can whine with me and get away with things. I can't remember the YouTube channel, but it's like AKO or OKA or something like that. They did. They have this playlist on there. They do their own animations, and they have this playlist. It's called We Ruin Your Childhood. All you have to do to find their channel is type in Adult Caillou. They have Adult Caillou, Adult Arthur. I think they did Dora, and there's others. And the Caillou one, I showed some people that I know that don't like that show, and they're like, my God, that is what would happen. And I showed my mother, and she's like, never show your son this. But it's basically adult Caillou still acting like kid Caillou to get his way. Wow, it's creepy. Yeah, I do not like Caillou really at all. Bill says Disney is making a live action Lady and the Tramp. Yeah, I think it's supposed to premiere with Disney Plus, or at least around the start of that. It's going to be on the channel or on the streaming service. I mean, they're doing live action, everything else. They're also talking about doing a live action sequel to Aladdin. So here we go. I mean, we got the new Maleficent coming out, which the first one I didn't think was that good, and the second one probably not going to be much better. But yeah, they're talking sequels because they're running out of movies, I guess. I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen Bambi, like The Lion King. That's probably coming next. Let's see. Ryan says, fun fact, when Lorenzo Music originally voiced Venkman in the Ghostbusters cartoon, Bill Murray thought he sounded too much like Garfield. Music is then replaced by Dave Cooley. Hey, that's funny. It was always funny how it's like, Music would do Bill Murray stuff, and then Bill Murray went to do Garfield on the live action movies, and it was just a nice little turnaround there. Bill says, there's a new movie coming out in September called Six Hot Chicks in a Warehouse. Never heard of it. I'm curious. Daniel says the Angry Birds movie 2 was okay. It was a little better and a little worse than the first film. They have awkward funny that is hilarious and some that is annoying. Also, why Baby Shark? Yeah, that part annoyed me. I just thought the movie, it relied too much on gross out humor. The first one was just kind of loud. And yeah, they had the part where the Mighty Eagle's peeing in the water that they're drinking. But this new one has bomb-eating pig snot, them dressed up as an eagle looking around a urinal. So they're trying to get this like key card from this other eagle, but it makes it look like they're trying to take a peek of his little eagle. And then they, pee all over the place. It's really whatever the yellow bird's name is, spitting to sound like they're peeing or badly sound like they're peeing. It just relied too much on gross out humor for me. And then also I could see little bitty bits and pieces of, I bet that's going to be a new thing in the new game. And that's going to be a new thing in the new game. So yeah, I was not a fan. But yeah, and then Baby Shark, that part was bad. Bill says Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans is a film coming out on video. I can't wait for that one. It's a team up film featuring both versions. Yeah, well, at the end of Teen Titans Go, they had that mid-credit scene where the original cartoon Teen Titans were like, we found a way to come back. I didn't think it would be a crossover movie, but hey, I am all for it. I am so looking forward to that one. Speaking of DC movies and cartoons, I need to get my Hush review recorded because I am a huge fan of the Hush comics, and I want to talk about how they tried to fit it in to their established universe now. Just haven't had a chance to do it yet. Daniel says another stupid thing they put in Miss Bala is when after her friend was kidnapped, went to the police car, asked him to take her to police and report that her friend was kidnapped. But on the way to the police station, the cops decided to go on a lunch break. Yeah. Leave her in the car while the gangsters come and kidnapped her. Yeah. Again, that movie was full of a lot of dumb. Bill says Sean Gunn does motion capture for Rocket by doing an unbelievably low to the ground duck walk. It's a sight to behold. Yeah, I saw a little bit of that. I did, and that was before I knew he was doing it. I saw some behind the scenes thing for, I think it was I can't remember if it was the first or second Guardians, but it's like, it's Sean Gunn. It doesn't surprise me though. Daniel says, Ryan, who do you want to direct Lazy Town the movie? Bill says, Quentin Tarantino. Ryan says, don't know. Ryan says, I'll be honest, my most hyped movie for Disney Plus is the new Phineas and Ferb movie. I love Phineas and Ferb. And I don't know if you had a chance to see Milo Murphy's Law. It's really good too. And then they're both in the same universe, so they did a crossover movie, and it was great. And then Dr. Doofenshmirtz is on Milo Murphy's Law, and he's a part of like that show's history. He's like a big player in that show's history. So I love Phineas and Ferb. I know some of the episodes seem a bit repetitive, but they always have something creative to add. And again, watch Milo Murphy's Law too. And then watch the crossover stuff. It's great. It's so good. I love that show. I'm a little behind on Milo Murphy's Law, but I did see the crossover movie and loved every second of it. My son was really excited when that one came out. He had to wait a long time for that one. It was a big deal for him, but I didn't know they were doing a new Phineas and Ferb movie on its own. I knew they were doing the crossover, and they did. But I'm happy to hear that. I'm getting Disney Plus anyway. There's nothing stopping me. I heard The Mandalorian, and I'm like, I'm sold. Daniel says, even though we all know just now that you had to talk with your son about Caillou and about him teaching kids bad habits, but the real question is, which son were you talking about? My oldest. Yeah, he's still into younger cartoons, and with his development and everything, he hasn't grown up past some of that stuff. But yes, I'm talking about my oldest son. My youngest son is getting back into Batman and Spider-Man, so I'm quite happy about that. Paul says, are you looking forward to watching Dolomite Is My Name? Yes. I don't know much about those movies or anything, though, so I'm going to have to study up a little. The only time I ever remember hearing about Dolomite was the Kid and Play movie House Party, where kid's dad was, we're going to watch Dolomite, and I didn't really know what that was. I don't know much about it, but I love Eddie Murphy, though, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. Daniel says, Bob eating pig snout was gross, but I found the bathroom scene kind of funny. Laughed out loud when the gang saw Leonard's pictures during a meeting and the baby chicks falling down from space. See, Angry Birds 2 almost felt like... Oh, and despite the baby chicks plot being pointless. Well, see, Angry Birds 2 reminded me more of a Ice Age movie. Because you had the main story going on, and then you had the baby chicks, which were kind of the scrat part, but then they brought them together. So at least they brought them together. But still, yeah, the bathroom scene I thought was disgusting. That's just me. I mean, if you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. And hey, I don't down anybody that enjoys most movies. I mean, if you try to tell me 50 Shades of Black was a good movie, we're going to have a talk. But I can see people enjoying Angry Birds. I mean, I've went back and watched the first one with my kids, and when I'm not working and watching the show, I can enjoy things more. I'd say the same thing with Venom. When I watched Venom again, I enjoyed it the second time because I wasn't having to nitpick it to make a video about it. So, let's see. Ryan says, I've had the pleasure of meeting Milo Murphy himself, Weird Al, in person at a concert. He was super nice. Yeah, I saw him in concert once. And I was in it's like second or third row, and he came down and he was singing some song about being obsessed with someone else's woman or so. I don't remember what the joke of the song was. I don't remember the song, but he was just like getting in all the girls' faces and everything. It was hilarious. And if you've never seen Weird Al in concert, and there is a gnat driving me nuts in here. If you've never seen Weird Al in concert, it is one of the greatest stage shows you'll ever see, because he'll come out and sing some songs. He'll go backstage. They'll show like old footage from like Al TV and everything. And then he'll come out and he'll be in different costumes. He'll do any costume, the Amish Paradise costume, the fat costume, all that stuff. He does all that stuff in concert, and it's like you're watching this live video going on, and it is so phenomenal. He is someone I need to see in concert again, and I'd love to meet him. Never got a chance to, though. Not yet, anyway. Bill says, I'm calling the twerking for cigarettes economy butt for butt. Okay, if there's any of you that weren't here for that story last time, check out the last Low Budget Livestream. I'm not going to tell. The short of it is, I watched someone get out of a car and twerk for a light for a cigarette, and then that's, you want to hear the somewhat more detail, watch the last live stream. But that's funny. Butt for butt. And Bill says, this kind of thing that pops into my head when I wake up. Hey, that's all right. There's a fine line between genius and insanity, they say. Ryan says, There's also going to be a Monsters Inc. series on Disney Plus called Monsters at Work, and it'll feature John Goodman and Billy Crystal reprising their roles among others. Yeah, I heard about that. I'm excited about that. Monsters Inc. is still my favorite Pixar movie. And not saying I don't like others, but I don't know. That one always stuck with me. And I even like Monsters University. And I've always wanted to know, I always wanted to see something happen after. I mean, granted, they figured out that scares don't work and all that at the end of the first one. And so, of course, where are you going to go from there? But I am curious about that. Is it going to take place in between the two movies? Going to be after Monsters Inc.? I haven't heard anything about it, but I was happy to see that those two are coming back. I love that. Ryan says, any other recent Disney animated TV shows you've seen? The last one I really watched was Rebels. I watched all of that and loved it. I tried to watch that Resistance one. I couldn't really get into it. I'll probably go back and at least try to watch it sometime, but I don't know. It wasn't capturing me yet, but it took Rebels a little while too. I'd want to get back into DuckTales. And then everything else when it comes to Disney animated shows, it's usually if my son turns it on. There's some things that he likes on there that I'll watch with him, but right now he's stuck on PBS, so we don't watch a lot of Disney right now. I definitely want to go back and watch that Star Wars show though. And I'd love to go back and watch all the Marvel stuff too, but who has the time? Ryan says the Weird Al concert I went to was a tour where he sang exclusively his original songs with him, the band just sitting and playing. It was great. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome too, because as much as I love his parody songs, I like a lot of his original stuff too. And I would love to see it. I didn't know he did a concert like that. That'd be incredible. That'd be insane, but it'd be incredible. Daniel says Disney is evil because they're buying everything. Sony is a crybaby because they want success reboots. Universal is a fanboy of Disney because Illumination. Well, it's going to get to a point where Disney has a movie coming out every week, I'm sure. I mean, partially we wanted this because we wanted all of Marvel together, but Disney just knows how to make that money, I guess. They're really taking some chances on Star Wars, though. I'm really curious about the last Star Wars movie, if it's going to help or hurt the franchise. And though I won't jump on either side of the scale on The Last Jedi, I liked things about it and I hated things about it. So I was kind of in the middle with it. I wasn't on the hate train. I wasn't on the it's the greatest movie of all time train. But it was definitely a divisive movie. So Star Wars might be a gamble for them, but and I don't know if Disney is just capitalist. I don't know if I'd call them evil, but they definitely got their fingers in just about everything now. Bill says early tracking numbers suggest Joker will be Aquaman at the box office, which would make it the only non-Disney or Sony film to break $1 billion this year. Joker's a crapshoot for them, though. It really is, because especially with the director coming out and saying, well, I'm not doing what you want. That's got some people curious and it's got some people worried. So we'll find out, though. I'm curious about that movie a lot. Let's see. Ryan says my top tier choices are Gravity Falls. Love that show. I did buy the box set when it came out. I was so excited. Wonder over Yonder, don't know that one. Star versus the Force of Evil, I heard that one was good. And the new Mickey Mouse shorts. I bought one of the Mickey Mouse shorts. If you're talking about the one with the kind of weird animation, kind of the hybrid old style, new style animation, I like those a lot. Yeah, I forgot about Gravity Falls. I wish it makes me mad that they only did 2 seasons of that. And they do have that, the Lost Stories or whatever it is. It's like 4 new stories, like in comic book form. I bought my son that for his birthday and he loves it. And he's always like, when are they going to come out with more? It's like, probably never. Eventually, I think they'll do a Gravity Falls, like another movie or something, but it's going to be a while. Ryan says, Al went as far as to call the tour the ridiculously self-indulgent, ill-advised vanity tour. Hey, man, I'll tell you what. For as talented as he is, for as long as he's been going, he can do whatever he wants. And I'll tell you what, that guy, it doesn't matter what style of music it is, whether it be rock, country, rap, hip hop, yodeling, it he's amazing. So he can do whatever he wants, and I would love to see that tour. But I do love the name of that tour because it's so Weird Al. Um, Daniel says Warner Brothers is bossy because Disney long-awaited sequels are hits, but Warner's weren't. Lego 2 and Godzilla 2. It's because Lego 2 and Godzilla 2 just weren't that good. And Paramount is in depression because they're having more flops. Daniel says, since you don't like Angry Birds 2, are you going to ask your parents or the kid's mom to take Andy to see it in theaters? Andy doesn't really want to see it. Ryan wants to see it. I still might take him to go see it, and maybe I'll have more fun when I'm not critiquing it, like I did the first one. But yeah, he wants to see it. He's into those games now too. So I'll probably take him to go see that. Let's see. Ryan says, Wonder Over Yonder is a Disney show created by Craig McCracken, the creator of the Powerpuff Girls. Okay. And Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. It's really great. Yeah, I had never heard of that one. Daniel says, I really enjoyed Foster's Home. Bill says, a Wall Street Journal report said it's in the contracts of Jason Statham, The Rock, and Vin Diesel not to lose fights or get beaten up too badly in their Fast and Furious movies. Yeah, I heard about that. It's like, okay, here's my thing. When it comes to, and I noticed this especially with Hobbs and Shaw, and I know I talked with Brad about this on his stream, but Hobbs and Shaw was about as PG-13 heck as you can get. If it weren't for the cursing, that movie could have been PG. Because man, was it like bloodless and almost. I mean, they found ways to not use guns, and it's. I get it, but here's my thing: when it comes to a hero, I like seeing a hero that gets beat up and then comes back. Look at John Wick, how cut up he gets, and how many times he gets stabbed and shot, and then he comes out on top, right? He's near dead when he wins, but technically he didn't even win in the end of the second movie or third movie, but so yeah, I'd rather see a hero get beat up. I mean, just look at Statham's really good movies where he kind of gets beat up a little bit. I mean, a hero looks awesome when he gets beat up, like when he looks beat up, but he still wins. So yeah, that whole thing with them wanting to look great, it's like, it's kind of dumb. But then again, Fast and Furious is kind of ridiculous and cartoony anyway, so why not? Ryan says, do you have any favorite of the Disney afternoon shows? The ones I grew up with, I always liked DuckTales. I always liked Darkwing Duck were the ones that really... Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. Those would probably be the ones I grew up with the most and enjoyed. Daniel says, I hope Brad makes Lloyd review movies that are in theaters like Serenity. Well, how will Lloyd go see those movies? Because he's not allowed in the theater. No, I'm kidding. Let's see. Bill says the Russo brothers said the reason they showed Tony's funeral, not Black Widow's funeral, is because Black Widow still has a film coming out and the audience is saying goodbye to Tony. Yeah, that was a weird thing because, I mean, they did do the thing where they had a few characters mention her at the end, but yeah, no big funeral. Yeah, that was definitely the Tony Stark send-off. The end of Endgame pretty much destroyed my theory that we were going to see AI Tony Stark and Spider-Man. I mean, yeah, we still had the AI glasses, but it wasn't Tony. Yeah, I see why they did it, but it was still a little weird. Daniel says, John Wick is Deadpool since they never die. I love John Wick. That's one of my favorite movies this year. I love that series. I can't wait. I'm so glad they've already announced the fourth one. Ryan says, I'll be heading to Fan Expo in Toronto next week. The guest resume there is great. Man, I have not gone to a con this year. I don't know if I'm going to get to. Ace Comic-Con Midwest just announced Jake Gyllenhaal. And I'm like, I don't have the money, but I still want to go because I'd love to meet him. And they had like Chris Hemsworth and Brie Larson and I can't remember who else. They had so many good ones, especially Marvel ones. but I heard Jake Gyllenhaal, and it's like, ooh, I can get my Nightcrawler poster signed. But it's like for a photo and a ticket to the show and an autograph and then like some swag, it's like $500. I'm like, wow, that's gonna hurt if I do that. But that's it. There's if there's even tickets, because I guess if you bought VIP tickets to the show before, you get first pick. So I probably wouldn't be able to get a ticket anyway, but I may try. I don't know. I'd love to meet Jake Gyllenhaal though. Let's see. Daniel says, plus I hope Brad rips Chloe contest and have her be in his videos. Yeah, Chloe doesn't make a lot of videos, which is weird. It's the Lloyd approved. I don't know if that was his first cat or what. Ryan says, Goldblum, Rainn Wilson, Zachary Levi. He's been to a few around me. Brendan Fraser, that's cool. And even John Travolta. Wow, that's awesome. That's a guest list, man. I miss going to cons. I don't miss standing in lines. That's the thing I don't miss. Daniel says the Peanut Butter Falcon is amazing. 9 out of 10. I can't wait for that movie to get around here. It's nowhere near me though. I can't wait to see it though. And I'll be seeing Ready or Not advanced screening Monday. I haven't looked at any advanced screenings lately. Ryan says it's Peanut Butter Falcon time. Peanut Butter Falcon time. Let's see. Daniel says contract, not contest. I see. Rips Chloe's contract. Okay, I was a little confused by that one. Ryan says I'm going VIP, so hopefully the lines won't be too hectic. See, here's the thing about VIP tickets, though. When it comes to conventions, they sell too many of them. You don't really feel like a very important person when they've sold 2,000 VIP tickets. I remember Wizard World Chicago one year, though I wasn't going to see him. Norman Reedus was there, and they sold like 2,000 or 3,000 VIP tickets. What's the point? I mean, other than money, of course. But if you sell too many and it takes forever for the VIPs to get through the line, that's why I like conventions like Days of the Dead. They sell a limited number of VIP tickets. And I think it's like 100 or 200 or something like that. It's a ridiculously low number. But at least when they keep the lines moving, having a VIP ticket is always nice. It used to mean something. When I first started going to conventions, VIP ticket meant something. Now it's just, well, they charged you more, and you get in before that line. Bill says, Disney should make a live-action Darkwing Duck. Oh, God. It's a live-action Disney movie and a superhero film. It's scientifically designed to make money. I'm sure they'll get there eventually, as long as it don't look like Howard the Duck. Let's see. Daniel says, I think your older son will enjoy Peanut Butter Falcon since your son has special needs and loves wrestling. And the main character has special needs. Yeah, that's when I heard about that movie, and from my understanding, Jake Roberts is in that movie, which I love the idea of that. I heard about that movie and I got excited about it. I like a movie when it comes to special needs characters in movies. It's really tricky because sometimes they'll have an actor that will, and I won't say it out loud, but I'll abbreviate. But in the Tropic Thunder tradition, they go full R, and it's just like too much, and it's not really how a special needs person acts. It's just like they're trying too hard to make you think they are, they have special needs of some form. But on the flip side, then you have a movie with a special needs actor, and maybe they don't understand the inflections they're supposed to have. But then again, there's been some really good ones. I don't have a list in front of me, but I remember seeing some that I'm just like, wow, you handled that right. And from what I hear about the Peanut Butter Falcon, is it handles all of it right. And I'm really looking forward to that movie. They have not announced it around me, but the second they do, I am going because I want to see that movie, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to love it. I really hope I'm right about that. Let's see. Where was I? Ryan says, only Walking Dead cast member I've met is Ezekiel himself, Carrie Payton, who's also the voice of Cyborg on Teen Titans. Yeah, I'd want to meet him for that. I fell out of love with with Walking Dead a long time ago. I have met Norman Reedus, but I was meeting him for Boondock Saints. And I've met Jeffrey Dean Morgan, which I do love the character of Negan, but I was meeting him for more for his character of Clay in The Losers, which if you've never seen The Losers, you should. The Losers is a great movie and should have had a sequel. But it came out before a lot of the people in it were big enough stars where they could demand a sequel. I mean, when you've got Idris Elba, Chris Evans, a few others, Zoe Saldana, that's where I first fell in love with Zoe Saldana. I mean, there's just such a good cast. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Jason Patric, and now if they were to make that now, it'd probably cost them a lot of money. But that's a great movie. And even Jeffrey Dean Morgan said he wanted a sequel to it. Let's see. Ryan says some voice actors be at the Fan Expo like Tara Strong. Would love to meet her. Peter Cullen and Frank Welker. You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. Those are two guys that they're on the bucket list, and I need to fulfill that bucket list before they kick the bucket. Even Sean Astin, who I have met, will be there. So with him and Greg, there will be two turtles at the con. Yeah. At Chicago Comic-Con, all four of the 80s turtles are going to be there. I have three of them. I was supposed to have four, but at Indiana Comic-Con, Rob Paulson, he was having trouble with his voice and he couldn't come. And he was really sick, I guess. He's going to be in Chicago again, and I can't go. So that drives me nuts. I have a Turtles poster upstairs in the main room where it's signed by all the original Turtles but Rob Paulson. But I did have Sean Astin sign a Turtles poster for my son because my son was into the Turtles show he was on. Let's see. Bill says there's a new cryptic trailer for Parasite, a con winner by the director of Snowpiercer and the host. I have not seen that. I'll check that one out. Daniel says, or you could find Peanut Butter Falcon just okay, just like Hollywood or Us, or you could find it more disappointing than Hellboy. Yeah, you never know. I have not watched a trailer for it or anything. I've only read a little bit about it, and it's got me really curious, and I hope it's fantastic. I really do. It's one I have high hopes for. As long as I enjoy the journey, there's things I forgive in movies if I'm enjoying the journey. But I'm really curious about it. But again, I'm always looking for movies that have a good take on special needs characters, and I love pro wrestling. So, I mean, I'm excited for it. I really am. But again, it isn't around me yet that I know of. I looked yesterday. I didn't see anywhere around me. Paul says, are you going to be playing any more Marvel games soon? Not yet. I'm saving some of the Disney Infinity stuff for when those movies come out. That being said, one of them is Guardians, and I don't want to wait that long. There's an Avengers game. I was gonna try to play a Spider-Man game for my revenge segment, but I couldn't find the right codes to make it a successful revenge segment. But I'm still looking into that. I've got a few ideas, so I might do a short one. I don't plan on playing a long form Marvel game for a bit. The next one I do play will either be an Infinity game or it will be I have Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. So it'd probably be one of those, but I also have the DC Supervillains Lego game too. I'll probably get one in there, but I've bought a few games that I really want to play. I got all the Arkham games, so I may get into some Batman soon. I've got a few other games I've got in mind, so I'm not sure what I'm playing next. But will it be Marvel? Chances are the next couple, at least, probably won't be Marvel. But I will. I got at least two more Infinity games with Marvel, which again, it's Guardians and Avengers. I can't remember what else. I know there's also Star Wars when it comes to Infinity as well. And by the way, speaking of Star Wars games, I am so looking forward to that Skywalker Saga Lego game that's supposed to cover all 9 movies. It's going to come out next year. I'd definitely be playing that one. I bought a bunch of games, and it's like, man, what do I play next? It's a good problem to have. Let's see. Bill says Disney is probably very unhappy with the New Mutants film after watching it. Not surprised there. I still have a theory that it will not come out, or they will release it exclusively to Disney Plus. So it's like, hey, if you really want to see this movie, I mean, how many times they pushed that thing back? 2-3 times now. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. The first trailer looked cool, but then, especially after seeing the Dark Phoenix movie, I'm like, oh boy, let's just kill it, get it over with, and let the X-Men lie for a while. If you're going to bring back anyone, bring back Wolverine in the MCU first, and then go from there. Let's see. Ryan says, will we be watching Dark Crystal Age of Resistance at the end of this month? If I get a chance, I want to see it. I need to go back and watch the original again. I do like the original a lot. So I will be watching it. Will it be right when it comes out? Probably not, but I will get to it. I'm so far behind on everything now. I still want to watch The Boys. I still need to finish Young Justice. I'm so far behind. But I am looking forward to that movie though. Ryan says, love the voice cast for the new Dark Crystal, but I was really surprised to see they got famed puppeteer Dave Goelz, the performer of Gonzo, Bunsen Honeydew, and Boober, etc., reform for the show. That's cool. Dan says, where does everyone like to sit in the movie theater? For me, I like to sit in the middle of the auditorium where I look straight at the screen. For me, if I'm in an IMAX theater, I like to sit at the top middle. If I'm in a regular theater, I like to sit on the right side of the theater on an aisle or in the middle on an aisle. I like aisle seats, especially since I'm 6'3", and sometimes there's not a lot of leg room in theaters. So it just depends on what theater I'm in, really. But and I also have kind of bad knees, so sometimes I got to be able to, like, especially near an aisle, I can stretch out my right leg, and that way my knee won't lock up. So it just depends on the theater, but most of the times it's on an aisle seat somewhere. Ryan says Simon Pegg is voicing Chamberlain in the Age of Resistance. That's cool. Him doing the Fame whimper is amazing. I'm now even more looking forward to it. I love Simon Pegg. Paul says, are you going to watch the movie Loose this week? I ain't sure what that is. Let's see. I know that name sounds familiar. I mean, if it comes out in theaters, I'll watch it, but I don't know. I mean, is that a out in theaters movie? If it is and it's near me, I'll watch it. I'll watch anything if it's near me. But yeah, I mean, if it's near me, I'll watch it. I've heard that name, but I don't know anything about it. Dan says, quick question. Was it crowded for the kitchen? Well, yes, I crowd a theater all by myself. God, I'll tell you, look, when a crowd is being cool at a theater, I love it. But we all know nowadays that not everyone's cool in a theater, right? And they can ruin your experience in the theater. But I'll tell you something. There was nothing. I've never experienced this before. There was nothing, and I mean nothing, better than being not just in the one room by yourself, but in the entire theater by yourself. Nothing like it. It was so fantastic. I'm like, okay, there's the one worker there, and I'm the only one in one of the, whatever it is, 12 theaters. Nothing like it. It was so fantastic. So fantastic. I mean, it was, I've been in a theater by myself before, but there's other people around, right? You'll see a movie, you're by yourself, and you can talk about a movie or whatever. But when you're in a theater by yourself, whenever you're a whole theater by yourself, I mean, the freedom is amazing. I'll just say that. So fantastic. Bill says, I like to stand right next to the screen with my face pressed against it. Oh, there's nothing like having to do this at a theater. Maybe see a corner. Let's see. Bill says, Roman Reigns was recently attacked by both a forklift and a car. My theory is that there's no driver and he's being attacked by Decepticons. Well, that would probably tease he's going to be in the next Transformers movie. Maybe it'll be a crossover event with WWE and Transformers. Daniel says, gas, you hinted at the theater you saw the kitchen at. So, if you know what it is, it's fine. I just don't want to get somebody in trouble for letting me see a movie for free. Let's see. Ryan says, forgot if you mentioned it in your review, but Angry Birds 2 is directed by Throw Van Orman, the creator of the marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. I don't think I did mention that because I have no idea what that show is. Paul says Naomi Watts and Octavia Spencer's in Loose. Yeah, I'll watch anything with them two in it. So if it comes around me, I'll definitely see it. I'd be interested in seeing it. If you guys got anything else you want to talk about, definitely put it in the chat. A little bit of update on the channel. I'm a little behind on some things, but soon, within the next month, I hope I'll have some more segments coming, at least 2. And if I decide to do, I've talked about the Patreon. If I do decide to do it, at least one of them will be attached to the Patreon. But then again, if I do a Patreon, I am not going to make it to where, well, you can't see this review yet unless you pay money, because I don't like the idea of that. I understand why people do it. I understand why they do exclusive things and everything, but me, I'm not going to hide my reviews behind a paywall. But I do have some ideas of, well, this will help me to choose something. But again, I don't even still know if I'm doing the Patreon. So I'm still looking into all that. So yeah, hopefully in the next month or so, I'll have debuted at least one of the segments. Still working on some opens. Some life stuff got in the way. So it's, you just have to roll with the punches, and I get punched a lot. Let's see. Van Orman also voiced, Little Gideon on Gravity Falls. The show's creator, Alex Hirsch, even made a voice cameo in Angry Birds 2. I didn't know that. Now I love the movie. No. I do like Little Gideon. I think Bill is still my favorite character, but I'm just drawn to the villains. I love every character on that show, though. I mean, every one of them's hilarious. I even when it comes to we have this parade that we have to film. That it's during the Decatur celebration. It's called the Razzle Dazzle Good Times Parade, and so the last few years, I've broken out the Raz Dazzler, and people thought I was making it up. It's like, no, here's the clip of the Raz Dazzler, and it's my time now. I'm the Raz Dazzler, and so now the Raz Dazzler is the unofficial mascot of the Razzle Dazzle Good Times Parade. I love that show, though. Bill says the Mortal Kombat film remake will feature fatalities recreated from the games. Awesome. If they allow them to get that way in the movie, that'd be great. Paul says, hope Gambit or Rogue gets in an origin movie. Do we really want that Gambit movie with Channing Tatum, though? I mean, I would love to see a Gambit and just a Gambit and Rogue movie. That being said, they're going to have to build these characters up. I have a feeling, though, that Disney is going to take some shortcuts when it comes to some of these characters and use the multiverse, especially since the new Doctor Strange movie is going to have a multiverse. I think that's how they're going to introduce some characters. I just don't want them to take the Fox stuff. I don't want them to bring in the Fox characters. I just don't. I want new actors to get a chance at some of them roles. But we'll see. Daniel says, also, I forgot to mention that today is the first day that I've ever went grocery shopping by myself. Went to Walmart. Congratulations, bud. That's great. You picked a busy store to go to, though. Ryan says, Bill, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. God, I love Bill. Bill is awesome. It's always funny how Bill is so silly and all of a sudden he just turns dark, like on a, just like that. Love that show. Daniel says, have you seen a trailer for, I guess it's Tenant is how you pronounce it. I've heard different pronunciations for it. It's directed by Christopher Nolan. Yeah, I have seen the trailer for it. It's like any Christopher Nolan trailer. It comes out a year before the movie comes out, and it always interests me. Does it mean the movie's always going to be good? No, but it always does pique my curiosity. So, if you guys got any more questions, comments, definitely put them in. And as I said before, never feel embarrassed to ask anything. I know some people have mentioned to me they were scared to ask questions. We like to talk about all sorts of stuff on this live stream, and I love talking about it. So, if you want to ask something, it doesn't even have to be about movies or TV. You can bring up whatever you want. Like I said, we try to stay nice in this chat. But it is ask me anything rules, and if I feel it's in reason, I'll answer it. So, let's see. Ryan says the closest I've come to seeing a famous cartoon creator in person is Justin Roiland. Didn't meet him up close, but went to his panels at Fan Expo, and he's a great guy to listen to. Man, I love going to like any panel. It is so much fun to listen to creators or actors or whatever talk about their craft. I think the most fun I had at one was, and I know I've talked about this before, where they did the live podcast for it was Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith. Because you've watched YouTube videos of him, and someone will ask a question, and he'll tell a half-hour story, right? Well, that happens in person, and it's a lot of fun. And just hearing him talk about movies and stuff is a lot of fun. But any panel, I went to the Daredevil panel once. That was great. Oddly enough, that was Chicago Comic-Con, where the whole Andy Signore issue started, where he got accused of sexual harassment and everything. And if you haven't been following up on that, it's definitely worth following up on, because he pretty much proved his innocence, at least in the eyes of public opinion. But that I remember seeing Andy Signore that weekend, because he was the moderator on the Daredevil panel. And when I saw him before the panel started, he looked like life was not good. Just the look on his face, he looked defeated, and then we find out why just like shortly after that. Yeah, man, I've seen some interesting panels. The time I met William Shatner, I hated going through his line, and he kind of made fun of what I was having him sign, which was a picture from Fanboys. That's one of my favorite parts of that movie, and he was like upset about it. But then I saw him on stage, and he's really entertaining on stage, so go figure. But I do miss going to cons, and I do love going to panels. I can't remember the exact name of it, but I know I do. I went to Indiana Comic-Con last year, I think it was, and they did Twisted Tunes. If you ever get a chance to see Twisted Tunes, it's awesome. They get a bunch of voice actors, and they do a script for they'll pick a movie, and they did I believe it was Beauty and the Beast when I went to go see it, and the voice actors will do different voices. I mean, can you imagine a Donald Trump Gaston? I mean, if that gives you an idea what they do, they don't just pick one voice. They go through like 6 or 7 different scenes, and they each do different voices, and it's fantastic. Nolan North was there doing voices, and a few others. It was fantastic. If you've never seen it, definitely check it out. Let's see. Bill says on the short list of things they haven't done in an X-Men movie, Flying Brick, Rogue, and X-Men Gambit are on that list. I could see them being on the team. I love Gambit and Rogue. I do. And I want to see them done right, though. I'm real nervous about them characters going on screen again. I didn't mind Rogue in the X-Men, and I didn't mind Taylor Kitsch as Gambit, but I don't like the idea they had for Channing Tatum to be Gambit. I don't know. I know look-wise he would be fine, but I don't know. And I would love them to prove me wrong, though. Let's see. Daniel says, remember the kid who would be king? Yes. Let's see. Paul says, can't wait to see State Fair. Oh, State Fair video Brad and I did. That should be fun. My stomach's still upset. I wasn't kidding on Twitter when I said I can't wait for my stomach to feel better, because we tried one thing and it was the last thing. And normally when I go to a fair, and like last year when I went and did the video with him, we would just try a little bit of everything. And that's what we did this year too. But afterwards, we each got something. I got like a lemon shake up and a corn dog or something, right? I got done and I'm just like, I can't put anything in my body or I will get sick. And I got home and my stomach was upset all night. And it was not fun. And I'm still a little iffy. I feel a lot better, but yeah, it was fun doing the video with him. It wasn't, my stomach was not having a good time though. Ryan says, I've seen Twisted Tunes last year. People like Gray Dizzle Griffin, Jim Cummins, Richard Horvitz, and others reading Back to the Future. That would have been great. I can imagine a Winnie the Pooh and Doc Brown. I would love to hear that. Yeah, Twisted Tunes is fantastic. I had such a good time. Daniel says Matt Damon is Matt Damon in Matt Damon the movie. Yeah, that seems to be. I watched that movie. I'm all for that movie. Let's see. Daniel says, let's hope the state fair food doesn't send you to hospital like Chipotle did. Well, that was my gallbladder, not Chipotle, but still, I get your meaning. Bill says, list of things that should be in X movies. The Savage Land, yes. The Shadow King, yes. The Shi'ar Empire should have been in Dark Phoenix. Mojo World, that's the one especially, it's a little late for that now, even though I would still love to see it, because in the days where, I know quote unquote reality TV is still a thing, but when it was like at its peak is when they should have done Mojo World. And that's still one of my favorite episodes of the X-Men animated series, when they did Mojo World for that. Daniel says, speaking of Chipotle, don't eat burrito bowls because the bowl has something in it will cause cancer. Fantastic. And note to self, don't eat burrito bowls. Ryan says, what's funny is that the main Back to the Future cast was there last year. Fox, Lloyd, Leah Thompson, even Tom Wilson. Oh, I love Tom Wilson. I want to meet Tom Wilson so bad. I want to meet him so bad. He went and did his comedy show in Rosemont at the whatever the comedy club is there. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but he was there and I couldn't go and I was upset. If you've never seen Tom Wilson stand-up comedy, he does this hilarious song about it's like, don't ask me questions about Back to the Future. Here's this song explaining everything, and it's hilarious. But I want to meet Tom Wilson because he was Maniac in the Wing Commander games, and he'd probably be like, wow, I didn't even remember I was in that. And he was like one of the best parts of the Wing Commander 3 and 4. I don't remember if he did the reboot or the continued story. I think it was called Prophecy or something like that. I've never played it. It's another game I want to play for the segment. Is some of the Wing Commander games. But man, I've always wanted to meet Tom Wilson. I love that guy. Let's see. Daniel says, I'm not kidding. I hadn't heard that about Chipotle. Paul says, it would be good to see the Fantastic Four and Black Panther 2. I'm not sure where they're going to bring in the Fantastic Four. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they're going to see. I don't want them. I mentioned the multiverse thing. I don't want them to just bring in characters from the multiverse. I want them to bring these characters in a natural way like they did everything else. I don't want them to rush them in. I know that they are saying that Spider-Man might have teased the Fantastic Four with that building or with the building being built, and it says something coming in 1, 2, 3, and could be the new Fantastic Four building. So that'd be cool. But I'd love to see them introduce. It'd be cool if they introduced them in Black Panther too. I think Blade is definitely going to show up in the Doctor Strange movie. If anybody shows up in Doctor Strange, I think it's going to be Blade. Let's see. Even Chipotle stated it. Wow. Yeah, I had not heard anything about that. I haven't gone to Chipotle in a while either. Not since I've been in the hospital. Ryan says, when I met Christopher Lloyd, who I have met, he was cool. Michael J. Fox, I had them sign a picture a friend of mine made where it's Stuart Little as Marty and Lloyd's character Hacker from the PBS cartoon Cyber Chases doc. That's awesome. My son used to watch Cyber Chase. He hasn't watched it in a long time. He used to. Daniel says, used to grow up with the Teletubbies on PBS. That's one show I've kept my son away from. I will not let it happen. Paul says, remember Black Panther fighting them in the comic. That's right. That would be as long. See, that's what I liked what they did with Black Panther, introducing him in Captain America. I understood giving Doctor Strange an origin movie, and eventually Black Panther got his own movie, but the way they introduced him was fine. I kind of hope they do the same kind of thing with Fantastic Four. They don't need another origin movie. Ryan says, speaking of Fantastic Four, I don't know if you remember the 90s cartoon. There's an episode where Johnny Storm does a rap, and it's hilariously horrible. I remember the cartoon, but I don't remember anything about it. I can imagine that, though. I can imagine that it's not good. If you guys got any more comments, definitely get them in, because I'm going to probably wrap it up here in a bit. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. Again, if you got any last questions, comments, I'll definitely go over them. But thank you for making my day a little better. Doing this helped. I wasn't in a great mind state, so doing this really helped. Though I'm so glad that you guys could join me for this and to just kind of help me push through the crap, and I really appreciate it. And thank you guys for commenting before the show. And it means a lot to me that you guys come in here every other week and just have fun with me. It means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. That's all I can really say. Anyway, Ryan says, got to head out. Thank you, Ryan, for joining. Daniel says, if you go watch Angry Birds 2 again in the theater with your son, you'll get a chance to see a short film in front of it. Yeah, that's weird, because I don't remember was there a short film in front of it? Because yeah, they didn't show a short film at the preview screening, did they? Because I remember hearing that. But anyway, yeah, I heard about that. Now I remember hearing about that. Scott says, it's always great to see a local talent on YouTube. Hey, Scott, thank you. Thank you for joining. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. It's been a good time. I'm a little tired now, and I'm ready to rest. So thank you so much again for joining me. Everybody have a great night. See you later.